Well, good morning. August the 5th, I'm making together a little cut of some videos I took the other day. This is just a flying video. I will, of course, run the sound background with my voice the odd times to explain what is happening on the video. I found a new way of using the flying to help me out. Since I'm looking for reasons and places to fly and legally fly, I realized that with my getting older and with me being as physically challenged as I am at times, because of my size, because of my weak knees, there are certain places I have fond memories of, but I cannot get there anymore. Be it for physical reason, be it because ownership of the land has changed, and I'm not allowed to go on there. I would like to get permission from the owners, but I cannot find the owners, or it is just too laborsome to ask. So I used the last week to do some flights, and I'm cut together this 13-14 minutes of flights. From many more minutes they are done from memories for me. Places I used to go like 20 years ago, fishing places, a fishing lake that sort of disappeared from public access completely. It's the Lac Ferry by St Valerien. It used to be part of the fishing club, and they have since then give up the lease. So I went to this lake regularly every summer, 5, 6, 7 times. It was one of my favorite places to go with my boat. Yeah, and there were some on the river, some places where I used to fish, where I used to pick mushrooms, big mushroom places, and I just don't feel as able anymore to go there without any danger to my health. Well, this is it. I will start the flight now, and you will see what I mean. Well, here we are. I'm starting the flight, starting at Mariel's, right across the road. This is where I'm taping so many videos, you know, that for a long time. I'm taping so many videos there from flying, just for practice, because it's private land there. I have full control over, where I'm being given full access by Marielle, and so legally there is nobody that can or will or should object to me flying there or practicing some of my flying, practicing my new things, checking out new items. Here I'm going up the hill. I always wanted to go up the fields, and this is the whole field on the other side. It's in waves, but it is all oats. I think it is all planted in oats, and it's just something I always wanted to do, and this was a perfect day for that. Basically what I'm aiming at, this is coming up now. It's a little road up there I used to go with Marielle, with my dogs. Any dog I had at the time, that was a different dog than now. This used to be Anna, Yeri, and Max. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeri and Max used to be my dogs then. And we used to go in those little woods here. My God, great mushroom hunting, great, a bit less good for chanterelle, but it was fantastic for bolé. I remember driving up here with the car and filling the car up with bolé completely, all the back, the inside. And I was selling them, and this summer I was selling them. I was making mushroom money. I took a summer off, and I'm alone on mushroom. I almost made $5,000 that year, that season. But then I'm a chef, and I knew all the chefs in the restaurants in town. So I sold it for a very reasonable price compared to normal prices for wild mushrooms to colleagues who even gave me orders of what type of mushroom they wanted. Some wanted baby bolle. So it was just a real great summer. I also had, at this time, I had a little bit of a business on the side. I had about 40 to 45 different herbs growing, and I was selling herbs, live, fresh herbs, to some of the same restaurants. So, like I said, I didn't work that summer, but I sort of supplied my income a little bit on the side with money made through my herb business. And the herb business I even declared, because it came up to a good $5,000–6,000 that season too. So, well, that's how I survived that year, and I survived actually very well. This was fun. Although I went also picking fresh wildflowers, edible wildflowers, and I added this to my little business just to make money, again, more money. And it all worked very well. It's astounding how well I actually did for somebody who had no job and was living to the minimum, and all of a sudden this was enough to make me live my life, continue my life normally. But it also turned out to be a lot of work, which was fun for the 1 year I did it, and then I realized, hey, I might as well go back to my business where I know what I'm doing. I can be working inside, not being ripped apart by mosquitoes or flies. Yeah, this is a place where I used to pick with mushrooms with Marielle. We went there quite a few times across the river from her house out. That bridge down there used to be an old wooden bridge, and then about 12, 14, 15 years ago they had to rip it down because it got so bad in shape. And to me this was a dead road. I was going to drive towards the end of the road on the right here and fly over that area. When I came there this year, I realized that the government had rebuilt a bridge. It's not a total wooden bridge anymore. It's just a centerpiece of wood, but they have rebuilt it. So I did not realize that actually was accessible to me with the car again. It's still the same good memories. Yeah, that's where this is a one-man little corner where he built his chalet right in this corner, and he built his sort of a beautiful little domain out of this one corner. Quite nice. Well, this is the famous Lac Ferry, and St Valerien used to be a stocked lake by the fishing club down there. Used to be this parking from the fishing club and the access to the lake, and there's this little pavilion that was built. It's still there, and that has stopped about being open to the public, I would say 15 years ago. Used to go there so regularly. It was fun. And good memories on this lake. Over there on the end of the lake, I remember there was a little cabin. It seems to have disappeared now. Those two houses were already being built when I was there the last time. And they are probably the reason why this sort of got closed off from public access. But on the end, on the top thing, there used to be on the other side, there probably still is, I see there's still a wharf, a cabin that one guy actually changed the cabin into a bear trap. I remember getting out of the boat to just check because it said attention. It warned people for getting near. It was a bear trap. Well, there's some. This is, of course, the upper region of St Valerien. There's all kinds of animals, from deer. Here, the little island to the left of this little island on the deep spot of the lake, that's where I caught my best trout on this lake. It was almost a 4-pounder. I've been trolling, and that was a beautiful fun day. Funny enough, on this lake I always caught the most fish and the best feeding times right around noon. They always say it's good fishing in the morning. I was there in the morning, I was there in the evening. Never really been so big, but in noon, with the highest sun in the top of the sky, that's when I always had caught fish the best. My friend Tony, will remember this lake because we put the boat in there on the right side, and then right on the top on the right corner there was this very flat piece. We had to almost pull the boat over rocks. You will see it later. And right behind it, that cove, what you see, that's where we anchored and we fished there. It's a very deep spot, and it was plenty of trout in there. They were not a large trout. We're talking 10, 12 inches. But we caught on a good day 12, 14 of them. Great pan fry. Well, it's all extensions still of the same lake. But to the right, when I turn to the right now, you will see in the distance, in the little distance, you see another lake, a bit lower. That's Lake Cassette. This is actually almost visible from the main street out. It's a very nice lake also on one end, on the right end. On the left end it gets a bit more rusty and kind of not really a swimming situation. Right under us here, you see now all those accesses to the lake were not existing 15 years ago. They have been added later. But this is the area where we had to pull the boat over the rocks a bit. At least one or two big rocks that we had to get out of the boat to get it by. Now when we fished in this cove, this access was not available either. Good memories. It's so nice to see this, that it's still existing. I actually believe now that there is only 1, 2, 3, what I see, 4, 5 people living around this lake, that I assume it will not be stocked anymore every year. I guess the fish population will keep its own with this limited access from outsiders. That is still probably a very good fishing lake, but we don't need to restock it because it restocks itself. Yeah, that's nice. Well, that's where I parked on the road. And here I stopped. On the way back I stopped because this is a place where I used to go. You will see down there, right now, down on the bottom of the thing. It's a cliff so steep, you had to be fearsome for your life when you had to climb down there to access down the water, down the rock cliff. But a wonderful, fun place to fish, very picturesque. Now I must say the river is so low I don't recognize at all. In my memory this was a raging river with a huge falls here, boom, one after the other, one terrace after the other. And alone the sound of the falls was deafening at times. But right now it looks very picturesque, and we have such a heat problem at the moment, such a hot problem, that water is at the low anywhere, as I mentioned in the shot before. But this was nice, and right down there on the bottom, the big pool, that's where I caught my biggest catch ever. For 20 minutes I was fighting something that I could have sworn it was a salmon. When I finally pulled it out, it was a 1 meter and 20 long eel. It was huge. It was giving me a fight of my lifetime. I had a pretty light line on. Not an ultra light line, but it was a very light line, not much pound, and I was so scared I would lose this fish. It took me 20 minutes fight before I even got to see what I had on. I never got it high enough. It always pull away and with so much strength. Of course, I told you the river was raging, which made the power of the animal going with the water so much more strong, of course, on the line. I was lucky to pull this one out. It shocked me, but I'm a chef. I know how to cook with those things, so this is the entrance to the spot. Well, this will be the end of it. It was fun to introduce you to my past, my fishing past. Well, and here we are at the end. That was my fun, my fishing past, some of the old places where I went to. It's nice, it will be always a good memory for me, and now if you know the place, you will either recognize it yourself, if you have memories to that yourself. If not, well, I hope you enjoyed it anyway. Bye.